chapter 19, the epistles, Romans, the Revelation. In a Reader's Digest article entitled Send Someone a Smile, a captivating story is told. One day, shortly after my third child was born, I received a note from another young mother. A friend of mine who lived just 3 blocks from me, we hadn't seen each other all winter. Hi friend, she wrote, I think of you often. Someday we'll have time to spend together like in the old days. Keep plugging, I know you're a super mother. See you soon, I hope. It was signed your friend on hold, Sue Ann. The few words lifted my spirits and added a soothing ointment of love to a hectic day. I remember thinking, thanks Sue Ann, I needed that. When I went out to mail a note, I noticed the neighbour checking his mailbox. Mr. Williams' head dropped and his pace seemed slower as he shuffled back to his house empty-handed. I hurried back into my own house because I could hear my baby crying, but I couldn't get Mr. Williams off my mind. It wasn't a cheque he was waiting for. He was quite well to do. He was probably looking for some love in his mailbox, while Megan drew a picture of a mailbox with a smile in it, and Tammy drew a rainbow. I wrote a little note. We are your secret admirers, it began. We added a favourite story and a poem. Expect to hear from us often, I wrote on the envelope. The next day my children and I watched Mr. Williams take out his mail and open the envelope right in the doorway. Even at a distance, we could see he was smiling. My mind began reeling when I thought of all the people who could use smiles in their mailboxes. What about the 15-year-old Down syndrome girl next near my parents whose birthday was coming up? The people in the rest home near our house, the invalid woman in our old neighbourhood, the endless people I didn't even know who still believed in courtesy and in doing, and didn't even know who still believed in courtesy and doing a good job in stores and offices and restaurants. Even on busy days, I could find the time to write at least one note. Notes can be short and should be anonymous. At first, I wanted credit for the notes, but now writing them in secret adds a sense of adventure. It's more fun. I once overheard talk of the phantom note lady. They were discussing me, but they didn't know, and I wasn't telling. While letter writing was the only means of long-distance communication for centuries, in today's world it has become almost a thing of the past. Internet-based social media have eliminated pen and paper from most people's experience. Even so, the spirit of the phantom note lady can live on. Whether it's in the internet, phone calls, or something as ancient as writing a letter, we can still be a positive force in other people's lives. We can still take whatever means of communication we choose and find ways to instruct, encourage, and uplift others. Paul and other writers of the Bible had concerns for people they loved similar to those of the phantom note lady. They wrote letters both to church congregations and to individuals to encourage them and to instruct them. In the providence of God, some of these letters were saved and eventually compiled in the epistles section of the Bible. The epistles were simply letters. You will recall that 13 of epistles were written by the Apostle Paul, while the remaining 9 had a number of different authors. The chart in the review section below shows the distinction between Pauline epistles and general epistles. Now the review, the structure of the New Testament, the historical parts are Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and Acts. The Pauline epistles are the 2 churches, Romans, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, the Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, and to individuals, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Titus, and Philemon. Now the general epistles, the Hebrews, James, 1 Peter, 2 Peter, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, Jude, and Revelation. Our history study is now completed from Matthew through Acts. We stretched out a timeline for the history of the New Testament. Some of the epistles were written during this timeline, and some of them were written after the timeline ends, at the close of the book of Acts. This makes it a little confusing and somewhat frustrating because we wish that the historical books told all the history during the time the epistles were being written. They don't, however, and we are left to piece together what history we can from references in the epistles. The following chart shows when the epistles were written in relationship to the time recorded in the historical books. The numbers at the years after Christ's birth. The Gospels cover the time from Christ's birth to his death at approximately age 30. Acts start almost immediately after the records events until about AD 60. We are then that Galatians was written during the time of the book of Acts, AD 48, specifically 1st and 2nd Thessalonians were written about AD 50. Books in the second section are Pauline epistles, and the books in the last section are the general epistles. The timeline of the New Testament, historical books, and they're showing you a diagram. Now, the overview summary, the epistles are letters to churches and so individuals to encourage them and instructs them to in the Christian faith. Let's review the epistles are letters to churches and to individuals to blank them and blank them in Christian faith. Now, the expansion, there are 4 main topics to be dealt with in studying the epistles. The nature of the epistles, 2 Pauline epistles to churches, 3 Pauline epistles to individuals, and 4 general epistles. The nature of the epistles, doctrine, then 30 epistles are letters written to churches, individuals, or in some cases to the Christian public at large. They deal with specific problems and issues of the day, but do so in a way that the information is universal and timeless. The typical pattern is to write a section of doctrinal truth and follow up with the practical implications of that truth. Doctrine, then duty, principle, then practice. Now, secondly, Pauline epistles to churches, letters to local churches. 13 of the 22 epistles of the New Testament are written by the Apostle Paul. 9 of these are letters to local churches and are named according to which church they are written. As you read the description of the book, notice the word in italics immediately following the description of each book. The description is repeated with a blank space in place of the italicized word filling the blank spaces. Okay, let's begin. Romans, heavily doctrinal, with the most complete doctrine of salvation by grace through faith in all the Bible. Romans, heavily doctrinal, with the most complete doctrine of blank by grace through faith in all the Bible. 1 and 2 Corinthians, heavily practical, dealing with a series of specific problems in the Corinthian church. 1 and 2 Corinthians, heavily practical, dealing with a series of specific blank in the Corinthian church. Galatians, written to some of Paul's first converts, refuting legalism. Galatians, written to some of Paul's first converts, refuting blank. Ephesians deals with the believer's position in Christ and its practical implications. Ephesians deals with the believer's blank in Christ and its practical implications. Philippians, a warm letter of joy despite trials. Philippians, a warm letter of blank despite trials. Colossians, the preeminence of Christ in its major theme. Colossians, the blank of Christ is its major theme. One and 2 Philippians, very personal letters dealing with specific issues in the Thessalonian church, including prophecy and practical living. 1 and 2 Thessalonians, very personal letters dealing with specific issues in the Thessalonian church, including blank and blank living. 3 Pauline epistles to individuals, letters to individuals and pastors. 4 of Paul's letters are written to individuals and pastors and are named according to whom they were written. 1 and 2 Timothy, 2 letters to a young pastor in Ephesus. The first letter counsels him on local church issues and in second encourage him to remain strong in the faith in the midst of trials. 1 and 2 Timothy, 2 letters to a young pastor in Ephesus. The first letter blank him on local church issues and the second blank him to remain strong in the faith in the midst of trials. Titus, written to the pastor of the church on the island of Crete, in details largely with local church issues, including the qualifications for church leaders. Titus, written to the pastor of the church on the island of Crete, it deals largely with local church issues, including the blank for church leaders. The Philemon, written to a slave owner, it urges lenient treatment of a runaway slave who has become a Christian and is returning to his Christian master. Philemon, written to a slave owner, it urges lenient treatment of a runaway blank who has become a Christian and is returning to his Christian master. 4 general epistles, letters to the Christian public, written by various authors. The 9 general epistles are letters to the Christian public at large, with the exception of 2 and 3 John. They are usually named according to their own authorship. Now the Hebrews, heavily doctrinal, this book draws largely an Old Testament truth in reaching New Testament truth to a Jewish audience. Hebrews, heavily blank, this book draws largely on Old Testament truth in teaching New Testament truth to a Jewish audience. James, an incisive and practical treatment of the proper outworking of Christian faith in everyday life. James, an incisive and practical treatment of proper outworking of Christian blank in everyday life. 1 and 2 Peter, written to believers scattered throughout Sin and Galatia, it deals with the proper response to suffering and opposition. 1 and 2 Peter, written to believers scattered throughout Asia and Galatia, it deals with the proper response to blank and opposition. 1, 2 and 3 John, letters from the Apostle John dealing with the love of God and its outworking in Christians' lives. 1, 2 and 3 John, letters from the Apostle John dealing with the blank of God and its surrounding, its outworking in Christian lives. Jude, a brief but powerful book warning against ungodly living. Jude, a brief but powerful book blank against ungodly living. Revelation, a giant of a book heavily prophetical, dealing with the nature and chronology of the end times. Revelation, a giant of a book heavily prophetical, dealing with the nature and chronology of the blank. Now let's do the review. Match the blanks with the description. Pauline epistles to churches. Colossians, some blank, heavily doctrinal. This book contains the most complete doctrine of salvation by grace through faith in all the Bible. Ephesians, blank, heavily practical. This letter deals with a series of specific problems in the Corinthian church. The Galatians, blank, written to some of Paul's first converts. This epistle refuses legalism. 1 to Corinthians, blank, this letter deals with the believer's position in Christ and the practical implications. Romans, blank, this is a warm letter of joy despite trials. 1 to Thessalonians, blank, the preeminence of Christ is its major theme. The Philippians, blank, these are very personal letters dealing with specific issues in the Thessalonian church, including prophecy and practical living. 2 Pauline epistles to individuals. Philemon, blank, these are the 2 letters to a young pastor in Ephesus. The first letter counsels him on local church issues, and the second encourages him to remain strong in the faith in the midst of trials. 1 to Timothy, blank, written to the pastor of the church of the island of Crete. It deals largely with local church issues, including the qualification for church leaders. Titus, blank, written to a slave owner. It urges lenient treatment of a runaway slave who has become a Christian and is returning to his Christian master. 3 general epistles. Revelation, blank, heavily doctrinal. This book draws largely on Old Testament truth and teaching New Testament truth to a Jewish audience. 1 to 3 John. Blank, this book is an incisive and practical treatment of the proper outworking of Christian faith in everyday life. Hebrews, blank, written to believers scattered throughout Asia and Galatia. It deals with the proper response to suffering and opposition. 1 to Peter, blank, these are letters from the Apostle John dealing with the love of God and its overworking in Christians' lives. James, blank, this is a brief but powerful book warning against ungodly living. Jude, blank, a giant of a book. It's heavily prophetical, dealing with the nature and chronology of the end times. Now the self-test. 4 main distinctions to consider in studying the epistles. Let's write the correct number in the blank from the options below. Distinction, the nature of the epistles, fill in the number, the letters to individuals and pastors. And next, the Pauline epistles to churches, fill in the number for the letters to local churches. And the Pauline epistles to individuals, fill in the number for the letters on the Christian public. and the general epistles fill in the number to doctrine them duty. Congratulations, you have just completed a basic overview of the story of the Bible, all 66 books from the historical books of the Old and the New Testament. You have learned all the main eras, all the central figures and the main locations of geography, all tied together with a storyline summary of the chronological story of the Bible. You have also learned where the other books, the poetical and prophetical books of the Old Testament and the epistle of the New Testament fit into that chronological story of the Bible. You are now ready for the next section, which will give you a general overview of the 10 great doctrines of the Bible. Thanks for today. Goodbye.